Chinese Proverbs. Chinese proverbs are full of so much wisdom. These quotes will inspire you to improve yourself and your life so that you may be successful. So be inspired by this collection of Chinese proverbs. These sayings are short but memorable proverbs, and sayings that have stood the test of time. They are sayings that have been passed down, and usually got their origins from famous Chinese writers and philosophers. Many of the proverbs contain wisdom and advice for life challenges. Some you may have to think about, as the wit and wisdom in them are thought-provoking. Be encouraged by these pearls of wisdom. You need to be sitting or lying somewhere comfortable, where you won't be interrupted, for 15 minutes or so. And you can start to settle in a nice comfortable way, and allow yourself to begin to appreciate the possibility that you can relax deeply and calmly, and just let the eyes gently close. Now, as relaxation starts to drift all about you, and laps gently through your muscles, sweeping deep rest, and a wonderful kind of release through that body, and your mind can take a vacation away from usual thoughts and feelings, seeing them get more distant as you relax through time. And even the air around the skin can start to feel so much more relaxed. A man grows most tired while standing still. Dig the well before you are thirsty. When the winds of change blow, some people build walls and others build windmills. He who asks a question is a fool for 5 minutes. He who does not ask a question remains a fool forever. Tell me, I forget. Show me, I remember. Involve me, I understand. What you do not wish for yourself, do not do to others. Confucius. Whatever you go, go with all your heart. The journey of 1,000 miles starts with a single step. To talk much and arrive nowhere is the same as climbing a tree to catch a fish. If your mind is strong, all difficult things will become easy. If your mind is weak, all easy things will become difficult. Every child born has innate goodness. Often one finds one's destiny just where one hides to avoid it. If you always give, you will always have. Give a man a fish, and you feed him for a day. Teach a man to fish, and you feed him for a lifetime. Everything has beauty, but not everyone sees it. He who sacrifices his conscience to ambition burns a picture to obtain the ashes. We count our miseries carefully, and accept our blessings without much thought. If you plan for 1 year, plant rice. If you plan for 10 years, plant trees. If you plan for 100 years, educate mankind. Make happy those who are near, and those who are far will come. Be not afraid of growing slowly, be afraid only of standing still. A single conversation with a wise man is worth a month's study of books. Outside noisy, inside empty. True knowledge is when one knows the limitations of one's knowledge. A bad word worshipped will echo 100 miles. A wise man makes his own decisions, an ignorant man follows public opinion. A bird does not sing because he has the answer to something, he sings because he has a song. Learning is a treasure that will follow its owner everywhere. To understand your parents' love, you must raise children yourself. If your face is ugly, you can't blame the mirror. The person attempting to travel 2 roads at once will get nowhere. Pearls don't lie on the seashore. If you want one, you must dive for it. Don't listen to what they say. Go see. An invisible thread connects those who are destined to meet. The more you sweat in practice, the less you bleed in battle. He who returns from a journey is not the same as he who left. Tension is who you think you should be. Relaxation is who you are. Control your emotions, or they will control you. All things are difficult before they are easy. Man's schemes are inferior to those made by heaven. Your teacher can open the door, but you must enter by yourself. A crisis is an opportunity. Riding the dangerous wind. It's better to be without a book than to believe a book entirely. A little impatience will spoil great plans. If you bow at all, bow low. A smile will gain you 10 more years of life. A book holds a house of gold. Talk does not cook rice. A man who cannot tolerate small misfortunes can never accomplish great things. Experience is a comb, which nature gives us when we are bald. Be not afraid of growing slowly, be afraid only of standing still. Behave toward everyone as if receiving a guest. A fall into a ditch makes you wiser. Better a diamond with a flaw than a pebble without one. He who asks is a fool for 5 minutes, but he who does not ask remains a fool forever. An inch of time is an inch of gold, but you can't buy that inch of time with an inch of gold. A closed mind is like a closed book. Just a block of wood. Better to light a candle than to curse the darkness. A needle is not sharp at both ends. Even a hair will bite when it is cornered. Habits are cobwebs at first, cables at last. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is today. In a group of many words, there is bound to be a mistake somewhere in them. Govern a family as you would cook a small fish. Very gently. Patience is a bitter plant, but its fruit is sweet. Listening well is as powerful as talking well, and is also as essential to the true conversation. Two good talkers are not worth one good listener. A 100 no's are less agonizing than one insincere yes. He who cheats the earth will be cheated by the earth. The only one who can swallow an insult is a man. One beam, no matter how big, cannot support an entire house on its own. Better the cottage where one is merry than the palace where one weeps. Distant water does not put out a nearby fire. The more acquaintances you have, the less you know them. He who thinks too much about every step he takes will always stay on one leg. All things change, and we change with them. If you want to find out about the road ahead, then ask about it from those coming back. Genius can be recognized by its childish simplicity. There are two kinds of perfect people, those who are dead, and those who have not been born yet. A clear conscience never fears midnight knocking. Learning is a weightless treasure you can always carry easily. Want a thing long enough and you don't. Married couples tell each other 1,000 things without speech. Small men think they are small, great men never know they are great. Do everything at the right time, and one day will seem like 3. Solve one problem, and you keep 100 others away. It is easy to open a store, the hard part is keeping it open. To be totally at leisure for one day, is to be immortal for one day. Fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me. Teachers open the door. You enter by yourself. Ripe fruit falls by itself, but it doesn't fall in your mouth. If you are patient in one moment of anger, you will escape 100 days of sorrow. Before preparing to improve the world, first, look around your own home 3 times. I was angered, for I had no shoes. Then I met a man who had no feet. Men trip not on mountains, they trip on molehills. Do not want others to know what you have done? Better not have done it anyways. A man without a smiling face must not open shop. It is not the knowing that is difficult, but the doing. A wise man makes his own decisions, but an ignorant man mindlessly follows the crowd. The people who talk the best are not the only ones who can tell you the most interesting things. Do not believe that you will reach your destination without leaving the shore. If you want to avoid being cheated, ask for prices at 3 different stores. A clever person turns great troubles into little ones, and little ones into none at all. The person who is his own master cannot tolerate another boss. Guessing is cheap, but guessing wrong can be expensive. Learning is a treasure that will follow its owner everywhere. A bird can roost but on one branch, a mouse can drink not more than its fill from a river. A person of high principles is one who can watch an entire chess game without making a comment. To know another is not to know the person's face, but to know the person's heart. No matter how tall the mountain is, it cannot block the sun. Tenacity and adversity are old foes. Think about your own faults during the first half of the night, and the faults of others during the second half. If you want your children to have a peaceful life, let them suffer a little hunger, and a little coldness.